Picture this. You're sitting across from an employer. They make you an offer, and it's lower than you deserve. You know you could ask for more. Something inside you tightens anyway, and you say, "That works for me." Why? Not because you're a pushover. Not because you don't know your worth, but because you have no choice. You have no financial cushion. And the fear of going without income is louder than any confidence you've ever built. Or this moment, a friend invites you into a business venture. The idea is genuinely good, you feel it, but you have zero free dollars, so you decline. 3 years later, you watch him open his second location. This isn't a story about bad luck. It's a story about how the absence of one specific amount of money literally steals your life from you. The decisions you could have made, the opportunities you walked past, the person you could have become. My name is Gaukara, and today I want to talk about something bigger than budgets. I want to talk about how specific financial milestones change not your wallet, but your mind, your decisions, your entire life. And the first milestone that changes everything is $10,000. Here's why. Let's be honest first about what it actually feels like to live without savings. It's not just uncomfortable, it's psychologically exhausting. Researchers at Princeton University found something striking. People who constantly worry about money experience a drop in cognitive function equivalent to losing 13 IQ points. That's roughly what happens to a person who hasn't slept all night, except for people without savings. It happens every day, chronically. You're not just financially poor, you're mentally poor. Here's what a typical day looks like without a financial cushion. In the morning, you check your balance before walking into a coffee shop. At the grocery store, you do mental math as you walk the aisles. Colleagues invite you to lunch. You make an excuse because $15 would throw off your entire week. Your phone starts glitching. You don't panic because it's inconvenient. You panic because a replacement costs $800 you simply don't have. This is called scarcity mindset. When the brain operates in survival mode constantly, it stops thinking about the future. It doesn't plan a career, look for opportunities, or build relationships. It solves one problem: how to make it to the next paycheck. And here's the most frightening part. Many people live in this state for years, not because they don't earn enough, but because they never cross one specific threshold. So what actually happens when you hit $10,000 in savings? The first and most important thing, you stop making decisions from fear. That sounds simple, but the effect is enormous. When you know you have 3 to 4 months of expenses covered, no matter what happens, your brain literally starts functioning differently. Neuroscientists document a measurable drop in cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. This isn't a metaphor, it's physiology. Check engine light comes on. Before, panic. Now, annoyance. You know you can handle it, your job becomes unbearable. Before, you stayed silent because you were terrified of losing income. Now you can quietly start looking elsewhere, choosing the right opportunity instead of grabbing the first lifeboat. That's why $10,000 isn't about spending. It's about room to maneuver. There's another effect almost nobody talks about. When you have money in the bank, you negotiate better. Not because you've learned more tactics, simply because you can say no. You walk into negotiations from a position of choice, not desperation. And that changes everything, from salary discussions to rent agreements. One of the most well-known negotiation principles is this: whoever needs the deal less wins. Your first $10,000 gives you exactly that. You stop needing every specific deal. All right, but how do you get there? Most people know they should save. They just don't. Why? Because they think of saving as temporary sacrifice. I'll live frugally for a few months, build up a cushion, then get back to normal life. That's the trap. That's exactly how most people fall off. People who actually accumulate money think differently. They don't cut expenses, they change how they see themselves. They become people who manage money rather than people who get carried along by money's current. This is called an identity shift. And it works like this. When you tell yourself, I have to save money, you're resisting your own desires. That requires willpower, and willpower runs out. But when you tell yourself, I'm someone who knows where my money goes, you're simply acting in alignment with your identity. That requires no struggle. It's just who you are. The first $1,000 is the hardest. It requires habit changes, conscious decisions, real discomfort. The second 1,000 is easier. By the fifth, the process becomes almost automatic because you're no longer saving. You're just living like someone who has savings. And one more thing worth understanding. Most people dramatically overestimate how much they need to change. The average person spends a significant chunk of money on things that don't bring genuine satisfaction. Impulse buys, forgotten subscriptions, convenience food chosen out of laziness rather than desire. Start noticing these leaks, not obsessively, not as a crash diet, and savings begin to grow on their own.
Let's talk specific numbers, because not all milestones are created equal. $10,000 is the survival threshold. You can weather most everyday disasters, car repairs, emergency medical bills, temporary job loss. You exit the state of constant vulnerability. $30,000 is the freedom threshold. This is where life genuinely shifts. You have a year or more of runway. You can leave a toxic job without another offer lined up. You can move to a new city. You can take a calculated risk on something new. This isn't just money, it's time. Time that the absence of savings used to steal from you. $100,000 is the investment threshold. Here, money starts working for you rather than only the other way around. Passive income, stocks, real estate, angel investing. All of this becomes real. And most importantly, at this level, you stop thinking about money as a survival resource. You start thinking of it as a building tool. But here's the thing. The biggest psychological gap is between $0 and $10,000. Not between $10,000 and $30,000. Not between $30,000 and $100,000. The first milestone changes you most, because it's the first time you prove to yourself that you're capable of managing money at all.
There's something almost nobody talks about in the context of personal finance. Savings directly impact your career outcomes. Not because wealthy people get more opportunities, though that's also true, but because financial security changes how you behave at work. When you depend on every paycheck, you can't afford to take risks. You can't raise an uncomfortable question in a meeting. You can't push back on a toxic manager. You can't leave even when you're undervalued. Because the cost of a misstep could be losing income, and that's catastrophic. But when you have $10,000 in the bank, you start saying what you actually think. You ask for raises, you set boundaries, and paradoxically, this makes you more valuable because confidence is readable. Leaders promote people who look like they have options, not people who cling to their positions out of fear. Research shows that people with financial cushions earn more on average, not because they're smarter or harder working, but because they negotiate better. They're willing to walk away from a bad offer, and employers feel that. Now let's be honest about the mistakes. Because most people start saving and then fall apart. Why? Trap 1. Starting too aggressively. Someone decides to save 50% of income, holds it for a month, then cracks and spends everything saved on compensation. The rule is simple. Start with an amount you won't notice. $50 to $100 a month. Then more. Consistency beats speed every time. Trap 2. Saving the leftovers. Most people operate on the principle of spend what's needed, save the rest. The problem? There's almost never anything left. The only logic that works is the reverse. Save first, then live on what remains. This is called paying yourself first. And it works. Trap 3. Having one big spending enemy. Everyone has their leak. For some, it's takeout. For others, impulse, online shopping. For others, forgotten subscriptions. Find your one main leak and plug it. That single move will do more than trying to cut everything at once. Trap 4. No concrete goal. Save money is too abstract. Have $10,000 by March is specific. The brain works with concrete targets. Without a clear number and a date, the process stalls quickly. Let's bring it all together. Your first $10,000 isn't about luxury. It's not about feeling rich. It's about something far more important. It's about stopping making decisions from fear. Fear is the worst advisor in life. It makes you settle for less. Stay where it's bad. Walk past things that could have changed everything. $10,000 doesn't give you money, it gives you something else entirely, in choice. And choice is freedom. Here's the most interesting thing of all. A person with $10,000 saved and a person with nothing can earn the exact same income. But they live completely different lives. One reacts to whatever happens to them. The other chooses what happens to them. You get to decide which one you want to be. If this video helped clarify something for you, hit the like button. It helps the channel enormously. Drop a comment below. Where are you right now financially, and what milestone are you working toward? I read every single one.